WBXO Classic Rock Redefined. And we redefine meaning we can do anything we want here, and it's a pleasure to have New York City-based violinist, singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, even on the website, not your website, but the Music in the Park website, a musical total package. Glad to have Deni Bonet on the Pat Show today.
That's a hard one to live up to, being a total package.
Yeah, like, Deni is simply a musical total package.
Yes, sir. That's me.
How's it going, Deni? How's your summer been going so far?
Oh, summer's been great. Summer has been really wonderful. I've been super busy. Been playing a lot of shows. I've been started a new album. So that, on top of everything, I've been working on a new record. So I can call it a record, right? Album,
yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Deni is going to be performing Friday night down in Katona, Laston Park. Their summer concert series, and you can go on their website, lastonpark.org. General admission is $10 at the gate. VIP is $25 per person, and that gets you...
VIP means you get to, just sit on stage with us.
Ah.
No, actually, I just made that up.
Well, VIP gets preferred parking.
No, you know what it means? It means that I come over to you and serenade you in person.
Oh, wait a minute. Then I definitely got to clear my calendar and go down and see this. Well, tickets are available to see Deni online, and go get them today while you can. My goodness, Deni, reading all about you and blasting your music for the last probably a week here at my house, in the studio. I love electric violin, fiddle, whatever. I just love it. I love it. Let me just start from the beginning, Deni. So if I did my homework properly, kind of born in Jersey, moved down to D.C., and went to college in West Virginia before you said, I need to go to New York.
Yeah, I did. It's like I gave the band an ultimatum. It's like, either you come to New York with me or you stay here. So most of them, we were part of a show called Mountain Stage, which is still on, and it's an amazing show. It's on American Public Radio, and it's on all over the world now, actually.
Cool.
And but we stayed there, and all these remarkable people came to us. But it was great, because it was what an amazing lucky to start out my career, to meet people, like Warren Zevon and,
wow.
Sarah McLachlan and, all kinds of people like that. People like that. But, and get to play with them. So it was pretty remarkable. And I just got to a point, though, where I was living, Charleston, West Virginia is an amazing, wonderful place, but it is very much a small town. And, hold on a sec. Sorry, my house is going crazy over here. Anyway, it's a small town, and so I felt like I just needed to be in a city. I just had to be in a city, and it needed to be New York. But before I came to New York, I ended up moving to London for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
And that was tough. That was hard because, I'm very enthusiastic, and the Brits are not as enthusiastic. Like, oh, look at that flower, look at that tree, So, but I had a great time, and met some more people who I'm still in, touch with and still close to and still make music with. So, my life has been one big, giant adventure.
Well, I think you mentioned it before, probably. It's all about timing. Even in West Virginia, when you're hanging out and recording and performing with Warren Zevon or Sarah McLachlan, I see REM, Cyndi Lauper. And then, like you said, you go to London, maybe not know a few people, but you meet people. But because I was going to segue, how did they hook up with you? Like, they remembered you and they, we need a violinist, and are you willing to go on tour with us? And is that...
Well, the first one, I actually played with, I was on Mountain Stage playing, and part of the house band, and had a duo with another woman, so we would do one or two songs each show, and ourselves with the house band. And we kind of called it the Handy Wives of Music, because you could write a song on Monday and perform it on live radio on Sunday, and if you liked it, you kept it. If you didn't, it's like, oh, on to the next song.
There you go.
So, it was a very creative time for us, but I ended up being offered a tour from a woman named Suzanne Radigan, who is she's an Irish girl who had a giant, huge record deal, and they offered me a 2-month tour of Europe on a double-decker tour bus that she was doing a lot of publicity on the tour, so it would be like we'd get to Milan and have 5 days off, do one little concert, and on to the next show.
Wow.
Which was great, because I had never, at that point, never really been around Europe, and I was like, this is great, I'm loving this.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I remember the driver was this guy from northern London, northern England, I'm sorry, and named Colin. And Colin, I swear, I'll always remember, I think he had a perm. And his deal was, he loved the fact that I was like the ultimate tourist, because I'd never seen any of these places. So if it was the early morning, like, and the bus was driving through the Swiss Alps, he'd stop the bus, come back and wake me up, in my bunk. I had an upper bunk. He'd wake me up and go, Deni, come up there. You need to see this. So I'd be like in my pajamas, come up to the front of the bus, and it's like, whoa, we're going through the Alps.
Wow. How cool is that for him to do that?
That was very cool. No, I did not keep in touch with Colin. But sadly, I lost touch with Colin, the bus driver. But I do know someone who ran into Colin, and he was driving a bus for PJ Harvey a few years back, so there you go. You never know. But then I also, the Sarah McLachlan connection came about because I was actually asked to play on the Chris Whitley Living with the Law album. Ooh. And that was my first real session. It was actually in Daniel Lanois' studio in New Orleans. And I was playing with Chris downstairs in the main studio, and upstairs they were working on Sarah McLachlan's album, Solace, that album.
Okay.
And they said, "Oh, do you want to play on that?" I'm like, "Yeah, do I want to do anything? Whatever,
do I want? Are you crazy? Of course I want to.
But
yes.
I didn't know who she was. I had no idea. They said, "Oh, there's this girl from Vancouver. You want to play on her record?" And and she wasn't there when I did the initial tracks, and then I met her there, and we just, we stayed up playing piano all night, she was just a hoot, and then later I found, oh my God, that's Sarah McLachlan, So, I got to know her from that. It's just been wacky, my entire existence has been, really being incredibly lucky, being in the right place at the right time. And, I guess I have the kind of spirit or energy that kind of attracts this wackiness to me. And, I'm about to endeavor on one of the wackiest. I'm going to be spending the month of August in Zanzibar as an arts envoy of the U.S. government to teach in a music college. I'll be teaching rock and roll, violin, and songwriting.
Wow.
And then they're giving me a band, and we're, in addition to the classes and teaching, I'll be learning some of their stuff. They're learning some of my stuff. We're going to write some stuff. And then we have a couple of concerts in Zanzibar at the end, and a couple in Dar es Salaam, which is the capital of Tanzania. So we'll be doing that for the U.S. Embassy there.
Is this something that you had to apply for, or somebody just handpicked you and said, hey, what are you doing?
I'm telling you, it's wacky, totally wacky. My dad passed away a couple of years ago.
I'm
When
sorry.
My dad, thank you. But when my dad passed, you get the last bit. My parents they weren't real rich, but my dad, they sold his house, and we, and my sister and I split the money, and I had money that I never had, which is not tons, I'm not certainly not a trustafarian or anything like that, but I took the money that I got and I said to my husband, let's just do something really, really different. So something we normally, so instead of doing the sensible thing and buying a car or something, we went on a safari.
Nice.
In Tanzania and the Serengeti. And so we did that for a week, and then the last week we were in Zanzibar, at a couple of different beaches in Zanzibar. And there is the main town in Zanzibar is called Stone Town, and it's a World UNESCO site. And while we were there the last couple of days of the trip, someone from the manager of our hotel, whose name was Barack, who I befriended because I played for Barack Obama at the White House a couple of years ago. And then this guy's name was Barack, and I showed him the picture of me with Barack, with the other Barack, and he was like, "Oh, you're my hero,"
Right.
So he ended up taking me over to this music school, and I ended up giving a little mini concert and a workshop to one of their teachers. And the guy who was running it at the time basically was this lovely Polish guy who said to me, "Would you ever consider coming back to do a residency?" I'm like, sure, oh my God, whatever, sure, he knew somebody at the U.S. Embassy in Dar es Salaam, and on his own, he applied for one of these. They applied for the grant, and then the next thing I know, I get an email. He stayed in touch with me and said, "We're working on it. We're working. You still want to go?" I'm like, "Sure, whatever," thinking it'll probably never happen. Whatever, And the next thing I know, I get an email from him saying, "Guess what? We got you the grant." And I'm like, "Holy baloney! Are you kidding me? Really?" So. I thought it was just going to be enough money to fly over there and eat cashews, but they got me a full-on grant, and like a real honest to goodness, I'm going to be able to pay the rent that month grant, and so I was supposed to go in January, and I spent the entire month of December packing because I'm a girl, and packing for a hot country.
Ooh. I
had been there in January, and I knew all the pictures of me in Zanzibar and Stone Town are we're sweating like crazy. It was really hot. So, trying to pack in December for something that's going to be so hot. I'm on Amazon trying to find appropriate clothing, and going through my closet going, I guess I can wear this, and you have to dress accordingly because it's a very kind of conservative Muslim country.
Gotcha.
And so, no, I don't have to wear a burqa. It's not like that. But I do have to cover my shoulders. I can show my tat. I have a tat. I could show my tat on my arm, but it just your shoulders and your knees. You don't want to wear a mini skirt. So there's that. And then 24 hours before I was supposed to leave, I finished packing. Boom, closed the suitcases. I had 2 big suitcases, and I opened up my computer. And there on my computer was an email from the U.S. government saying, "We're sorry, we have to postpone your trip because the government shut down."
Oh, wow.
I was furloughed. Furloughed. So, and the embassy, the guy who, everybody at the embassy in Dar es Salaam was furloughed. So now it's actually worked to my advantage because now the weather there is actually nicer than it is here. It's the hottest it gets is 84.
Oh, that.
Here we're frying.
Yeah,
here,
right.
so,
There's a heat wave here.
Yeah. So there's that.
Well, congratulations on that. That's an amazing story. We're having a great chat with Deni Bonet. Deni's going to be down in Katona on Friday. I mean, you played for the president at the White House. I see you sold out Carnegie Hall like 3 times. Concerts at the Great Wall of China. I mean, what's left on your bucket list?
Well, my bucket list changes every other week.
I guess so. Wow.
You know, I don't know. I don't know, Pat. We're, every day is an adventure, isn't it? You know.
Well,
what keeps you young? That's what I say.
We're blessed every day, right? We got a pulse. We wake up and watching your videos on YouTube and all over. You just got a contagious smile, and you're having a blast. And you read your reviews, high energy, and dynamite, and you know why people would want you. I mean, I've been to shows. I know Bon Jovi had a young lady that would go on tour with him, and the name slips my mind. I should know it. And who would ever think, violin, electric violin, and, it is in the rock world. I mean, you got Frankenstein on your latest, that you play, Edgar Winter's Frankenstein on your latest album, CD, Bright Shiny Objects, and you, blow it and take it to a whole different level, which is incredible, which I love. I mean,
thank you.
I love, there's a lot of great tracks. Light This Candle, I love. Einstein's Brain, I love. I even went back to It's All Good, and I found Wait and See, which was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
We actually worked that. We're going to be playing Wait and See at the show in Katona.
Okay.
That one is in our set list. Because I didn't play that one for a while. I put it away, and then
it's a great song.
Thank you. It's a fun song. The last album, I wanted to challenge myself as an instrumentalist.
Right. I was going to ask you that. Go ahead, but keep on going.
Yeah, I'm a songwriter. I write songs. I call them singy songs. They're singy songs. And all my other albums from day one have all been mostly songs with me singing. And I had one instrumental that didn't even have a name. It was called Instrumental. And live, I would always say to people, okay, someone name this for us. And then I discovered that it actually, when I went to record it finally for this last album, I realized, I guess, it does have a name. It's called Primal Dream, and that's on the album.
Yeah.
And, but then I got together with a whole lot of different people and co-wrote with people who basically would kick me in the butt as a songwriter, or as an instrumentalist, to play in ways that I'd never played before. So Frankenstein came about because my manager is also, he's a First Call Emmy winning. He won an Emmy Award for sound, and he's produced all of my records except for It's All Good. It's All Good was done by Richard Barone.
Okay.
And then mixed and mastered and everything by Paul. But Paul Bevan who is my music partner in a lot of this. He actually had the idea for me to do Frankenstein, and I got to tell you, Pat, I said to it was like that. I was like, really?
Yeah, but it's a challenge, right? It's that challenge. You're like, okay, let's give it a whirl, right?
It wasn't even so much the notes. It was more like trying to analyze it a little bit. I found out later that, and it might be a wives' tale. I don't know, but from what I understand, when they recorded it, everything was on tape. It wasn't digital. It was on tape. So when they had to slice and dice it, that's how it ended up being the way it was. Like there is one part that goes da-da ba-dum ba-da-da-da-da ba-da-da-da-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. It almost drops a beat. And, I think it did because somebody said, hey, let's put this part there, and they missed tape.
Oh.
Because, but, you can't really hear, obviously.
Right.
They did a very good job of it. But, And I get a real hoot, like, looking at some of the old videos of them playing it that go on for about 30 years while they're playing, It's like 10 years later, they get to the head of the song again. But ours is a little more concise. But, boy, when I play it live, people go crazy.
Oh, my God, yeah. That would be, to see you live and play that, oh my goodness.
And I actually play it even when I go out with Chris Flynn, my guitarist. He and I do it too, just the two of us. And I've also had it was orchestrated for full symphony. I've done it twice with a full symphony. It was orchestrated by a guy named Steve Bartek, who used to play in a band called Oingo Boingo.
Oh, yeah.
And Steve does all the orchestrations for Danny Elfman. And he's orchestrated a couple of my tunes now for full symphony. So sometime next year I'm going to be doing another symphony concert with a orchestra in Connecticut. So, yeah.
I listen to the songs and I try to, really understand the song, what the meaning behind it. 1 in a Million Girl, why aren't I not your type? Like, hello, wake up, buddy. What are you doing to me?
Why am I not your type?
Right. I'm like, come on. And that video, the video.
1 in a Million with an English friend of mine, and it was always kidding me, about, the whole New Yorker thing. It's like, why am I not your type? What's wrong with you? And, we laugh. My thing is when I'm writing songs with other people, if you don't laugh, it's not going to be a good song. It's got to at least make me giggle.
Oh, you giggled. The video is great. It's got like over 108,000 views or something.
Yeah, it did really. That one did really, really well. That one actually went viral, and I tell this story from stage actually, and I'll share it with you. That when we put the video up, it started out, with 10 views. You put a video up, and I did the video with a filmmaker named Carl Scheffelman, who's, an independent filmmaker who's done quite well. He's won some awards. And he wanted to do a video, and Carl called me up like about a half hour later and said, Deni, the video it's up to 1,000 views. I'm like, really? Cool. And then like 20 minutes later, back again, Deni, it's up to 5,000 views.
That's amazing.
And it was going faster and faster. So I think it was like on the home page of YouTube for a minute, or something. And the next thing you know, it went from 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, 20, 30, 40, 50. It was going up and up and up and up and up and up. As we were watching, it was going crazy. And then I like to say that, well, then at some point at about 100,000, my relatives all stopped hitting. Stopped watching it. So.
Oh, that's funny. That's a good one.
They all got tired.
Well, tell them Light This Candle needs a little bit more help, so I'll keep pressing the button.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I like This Candle. Filmed in New York City. I see you on the subway, Times Square, and the shot on the train. And I got to ask you, what did the people think when you're like standing there playing?
Oh, my God, it was so funny because we did it on the A train. The A train goes express from 125th Street to 59th.
Okay.
And that's always where, if you're riding the train and there's guys like on the train doing hip hop dancing or something, you sit there and go, oh God, please, not in my face.
Yeah, right.
I've seen this one,
Right.
But so I was doing the same thing. We planned it that we would do it, from there to there because it's a long haul. And I start playing it, of course, trying to not fall down, because the train's moving. People absolutely ignored me.
It looks it.
We had the music kind of playing and I'm playing to it. It was like, there's people are sitting there. It's like, whatever. It's New York.
Only in New York. I mean, you look at the people on the train and some look at you, some look down, and not even like...
It's like, whatever,
Right, and then you watch Jimmy Fallon will have somebody in the subway by 42nd Street in, disguise, and then there's a million people pop up once they take the disguise off, Miley Cyrus or something. Everybody's like going crazy, but New York City, here you are on a train, and everybody's like, doobie-doobie-doo.
Not a thing. Not a single thing. You know, that was making it. When we look back at the footage, we were cracking up because it's like it's not like I suck or anything, and I was all made up and everything.
Yeah, wow. Who's this hot redhead with the blue violin, the blue shoes? What's going on here?
Yeah, but I'm sorry to be interrupting your day here, but you know. And not to get in the way of your reading the news or something. So.
Oh, it's too funny, Deni. I'm having a blast with having a chat with you. I went on your Facebook page yesterday, and you made it. You got a collectible, a Funko Pop. I'm like, wow, look at that.
Well, I kind of do.
Oh, okay.
You notice I didn't make any more comments about it.
No, but I thought it was cool.
It was a custom-made gift, and so yes, I am a collectible. Can you get one? Yeah, you can if you really want one.
But no blue boots. Yeah, but they left out the blue boots. They kept it black. I'm like, no, it got to be blue.
Blue? I don't wear blue boots. Well, I kind of do. In one picture, I do.
Yeah, there's a couple of pictures. I think one of the videos had you in like blue heels, kind of matching.
Absolutely. You can't walk in those shoes. You do things for fashion. I'm telling you. But now when I perform, man, it's flats.
Yeah, no. You're a smart lady. Been doing this a while. Tell me. So you said you're working on a new album since Bright Shiny Objects. I want to say came out in 2017. More with lyrics. So you tried the instrumental, and that was pretty cool. So
the instrumental thing came out on it was on Zip Records with distribution with Sony.
Okay.
And it was on it did really well in Europe, and it did. I got a lot of airplay in the States, even on some commercial radio stations, and it did well. I thought I was going to do another instrumental album because it's like, okay, got it. I'm doing that. Give them what they want, ladies and gentlemen. But it turns out what people want is they want the songs. So when I, have been performing since the album came out, I go to Europe and I go, wherever I'm playing, people still want the songs. So I still write songs. So this one's going to be, so far looking at the playlist, it's probably going to be 2/3 songs and, and 1/3 instrumental because I still have a few instrumentals up my sleeve. But the songs, is a challenge. I was like calling the last album "No Pesky Lyrics,"
Oh.
Forget those lyrics. We don't need those. We'll just play, And it was great, and I had a great time making that record because, like I said, it pushed me, and we got some amazing players on that last album, which are all going to be on this album because they've all agreed that they want to play. Like people like Sean Pelton, who plays on Saturday Night Live,
yeah,
drums, and Liberty DeVito was on that one.
I see Will Lee, Steve Holly, Matt Beck. I mean, great. That is awesome.
These are all friends of mine, so they're coming back. So we are now 4 tracks. We've got basics on 4 tracks, and then we'll pick it up when I get back from Africa. But the first 3 tracks were, we had Graham Mabey and Doug Yowell, who we nabbed them before they were going out with Joe Jackson.
Nice.
And I've known, both Graham and Doug. I actually introduced the 2 of them. So Doug, who's played with so many people, Graham is like, he's like a legend. He's been with Joe Jackson forever, and he's played with so many people. And I got them in for that last album on a session, and the next thing I know, Doug, the drummer, ended up getting the Joe Jackson gig, so he's been playing with him ever since, touring all over the world with him. So I said to him, well, that's just great. I got you on the album. What did I get out of that tour? I didn't do that Joe Jackson. I didn't get anything. Thanks a lot. But what I did is that they came back and played for me again. So we got them on the first round, and then I did one song in the studio with Andy York, who he's played guitar for 20 years with Mellencamp.
Oh, nice.
So, and on bass on that track we got Paul Nowinski, who played with Ricky Lee Jones, and so I have a band, and I've got to tell you, my band is remarkable, and they'll be on the album too.
And they're going to be at the show on Friday? You're going to have a full band, or sometimes I know you do like a duet? Okay, no, good.
Absolutely, the full band. So Chris Flynn, who's my right-hand guy, he's been playing with me for a few years now on guitar and vocals, and then we have Addo Coker, who fortunately is not, she's been playing with, since you do classic rock, Outfield, the band Outfield.
Yeah, the Outfield.
So she's been playing, so she's been out on tour with the guy from the guy, I should know him, I don't know, the guy from Outfield, I guess he still goes out as Outfield. But she plays with a lot of people. She's remarkable, really remarkable player. And Brian Stanley, who has been playing with Garland Jeffries forever. And who else? Who am I missing? I think that's it. Oh, Thomas Hamlin, Hammy, who from Black 47, he plays drums for me.
Well, we got to get you up here at Daryl's house when you come back from Africa. We got to work on that. Please do that. You give them a call. Yeah.
We'll do this one together. Let's get that going.
There you go. And you got to promise me you want to come on up and after you get the album completed, so we can have you live here at the station. Would be awesome.
I would love that. I would totally love that. Let's do it.
Excellent. Well, Deni, I've had a blast. Thank you. I hope you have enjoyed the chat as much as I have.
Absolutely.
I hope 1 million people show up Friday night down in Lansdowne Park in Katona. Get the tickets, $10 at the gate, $25 VIP. If you throw an extra $30, Deni can come over and play a little bit more. So
I'm wireless. I'll go right in your face. No problem. We, I have done the concert there. I don't know if I mentioned it last year. We were there. It's such a beautiful place. Lasden Park Arboretum. They have an arboretum. You get to walk through it.
Nice.
All sorts of pretty orchidy kind of flowers and butterflies and things like that. But the outside, it's just, you sit on this beautiful hill and listen to music, and it's gorgeous. It's really, really nice.
Well, the weather looks good, and I know you're going to rock the place. Have a safe and a blast out in Africa. Congratulations on that.
And the bar, I'm going to come back, and all my songs are going to be, like, Zanzibar, going to Zanzibar. Sorry, I'll stop now.
That's all right. You can check out Deni on her website. That's DeniBonet.com. She's on Facebook. She's on Twitter. She's on Instagram. She's on YouTube. I even saw you actually did a duels with Deni, a living room concert thing?
Duets with Deni.
Yeah, duet with them.
I used to have a TV cable show, so there's a bunch of stuff on YouTube of the old show. I would invite people over to my house, famous friends over to my house, and we would do 3 songs of the guest, 1 song of mine, and 1 cover tune. That
nice.
Was it was really fun. A lot of work. But yeah, that was my kind of my start in New York. I was on, all over New York cable.
That is great. Bring a shared dish, BYOB. The dog won't bite you. Hang out. It is going to be fun. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Deni, well, we'll let you go because I know you got to pack up again, and looking forward to heading out to Africa, but hopefully a lot of people show up Friday night down in Katona, and we will chat with you soon. We're going to end with you. We're going to play a little Wait and See, which I just love, and then we're going to jump into Light This Candle.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Pat.
Hey.
I'll see you again soon.
Okay, hon.
I'll see you in person soon.
Yes, keep in touch. Absolutely. Deni Bonet on WBXO. We are classic rock, and we are redefined.